The Republican Party has, for many decades now, claimed that it is the party of personal responsibility, which of course means if you mess up, that's on you. You have to own your mistakes, learn from them, and move forward. Essentially, you got to pull yourself up from your own bootstraps. We have heard that mantra repeated at Republican Party conventions. We have heard Republican lawmakers say it. Take responsibility, for God's sakes. And yet, there is not a single Republican official that I can even think of that takes responsibility for anything. Obviously, we've gotten a lot of examples just in the last few days. Donald Trump coming out saying that we can't release the Epstein files because, of course, the Democrats did it. They created these files, even though Democrats were not in office, did not control the Department of Justice during either of Epstein's investigations and subsequent arrests. That all happened under Republicans. But then something even more bizarre happened this week in a case of what I can only call Democrat derangement syndrome. Right? Isn't that what Republicans love to call everything? It's a derangement syndrome. They've got Trump derangement syndrome. 20 years ago, it was Bush derangement syndrome. But the only people suffering from any syndrome right now are the Republicans who refuse to take responsibility for anything that they do or that happens under their watch. And instead, all of the bad things or inconvenient things that have happened to this country are all the fault of the Democrats. Republicans have never done anything wrong in their entire lives. They've just been trying to clean up the mess of these gosh darn Democrats. Republican Representative Mike Collins this week actually blamed the 2020 George Floyd protests 5 years ago that again took place in the summer of 2020 when Donald Trump was president. Mike Collins blamed all of that unrest on President Biden, who hadn't even gone through the nominating convention yet. But this is what Collins had to say. This started under the Obama administration when they decided to illegally investigate conservative groups, which didn't happen, when they were out there demonizing Republicans who just simply wanted to follow the Constitution and make our country better. Then you fast forward to the Biden administration, who they put this on steroids and actually allowed the public to take part in this game. Example, Summer of Love, where rioters were out there burning police stations, assaulting officers, taking over our cities, where they were advocating to defund the men and women in blue who protect us. And they didn't just encourage it, y'all. They promoted it. They even paid for their bail, which didn't actually happen. That's not a thing. That is just a Republican conspiracy that's been floating around for 5 years. Biden was not the president during that time, Mike. Donald Trump was. Biden had no authority. Biden wasn't even officially the Democratic nominee yet. And here's the other part. No cities were taken over. Police stations were not burned. And by the way, if you care so damn much about the police, why didn't you say something when Donald Trump pardoned all those cop beaters when he first came into office, the people who took part in January 6th? You don't actually give a damn about cops. You don't care about anything. All you care about is making sure that people blame Democrats for everything. Because, as the very famous speech from the end of the movie The American President says, they're good at telling you what's wrong and who's to blame for it. But that's all they can do. That is the only thing Republicans know how to do, other than trickle-down economics, is blame somebody else for everything. Have you ever, and I'm asking you this honestly, in the last 25 years, have you ever heard a single Republican get up in front of a camera, in front of an audience, and say, we as Republicans, we really messed up. Like, we messed up, we're going to fix it. I have been in the progressive media business for 21 years. And I can tell you with all honesty, for that whole 21 years of my life, my entire adult life, I've never heard that. I've never. But what I have heard repeatedly from multiple different Republican administrations throughout my entire life is these damn Democrats screwed up. How bad are these Democrats? Man, they're awful. They did all these things that even happened under Republicans. There are Republican MAGA supporters out there that still blame Biden for COVID. They literally think he was president during all of that. Democrats don't do that. Not saying the Democratic Party is perfect or that they have all the solutions, but think back to Obama's 8 years. Did he go out there every day? This is a man who, by the way, inherited unwinnable wars based on lies and an economy that was in total shambles, a housing market that was destroyed, a banking crisis. He had more crises to deal with than any other modern president. And when he came in, did he sit there every day for 8 years saying, well, the Republicans did this, the Republicans did that? No, he didn't. He put on his big boy pants and addressed the issues, fixed a lot of them, and moved the country forward in a good way. He didn't do everything perfect by any stretch. No president ever has, nor will any ever do that. But he didn't sit there every day blaming Republicans for all of the things he has to deal with, like Republicans do. Biden inherited COVID and an economy that was also in shambles. Did Biden sit there every day and say, Trump, 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 Trump? No, he didn't. Like Obama, he put on his big boy pants and dealt with the issues because he's a grown-up, not an immature, spineless, feckless Republican. Republicans are not the party of personal responsibility as they claim. Republicans are, in fact, the party of blame everybody else except us, even though we cause all the problems. We don't know how to govern. We sure as hell don't know how to legislate. But don't you dare blame us because Democrats are evil. Democrats ruin things. For my entire life, born in 1983, we have had more Republican presidents than Democratic ones. And every time we get a Democratic president, whether it be Clinton, Obama, or Biden, the three Democrats of my lifetime, they have inherited a lot of economic problems from the Republicans that came right before them. And every one of those Democrats has fixed it. And then once things are fixed on a little bit stable ground here, the public says, well, let's go back to Republicans. And what happens every damn time? Republicans trash everything again, and the public goes running back to Democrats. Please fix it. We're sorry we believed the Republicans telling us it was all your fault. Obviously, it was theirs. And then 4 or 8 years later, the idiot voters make the same mistake. They don't learn from their mistakes. Republicans don't learn from their mistakes. Democrats aren't perfect at learning from their mistakes by any stretch, but they're a hell of a lot better than the Republican Party and apparently the public at large. But I am sick and tired of hearing Republicans blame everything that they don't like on Democrats. This is a party, a collective group of people, not just the elected officials, but the voters out there that vote Republican. They are all suffering from a mental illness that we must start referring to as Democrat derangement syndrome. If you've ever wondered how scammers get your phone number or why your inbox is flooded with spam, this is why. There are companies called data brokers that sell your data. They do it without your consent, and they make billions of dollars selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. And while they're legally required to remove your info if you ask, they make the process confusing and hard on purpose. That is why I recommend today's video sponsor, Aura, to my family and friends. They take care of the hard part, automatically removing your info from these sites and keeping it off. Aura is all-in-one digital security. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking the front door but leaving the back door open. Aura gives you alerts if your personal info is found anywhere on the dark web. They have real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking, 24/7 monitoring to help keep your identity secure. They also offer a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and so much more. They have US-based support available around the clock if anything at all goes wrong. And if anything does happen, Aura includes $5 million in identity theft insurance protection. And they have US fraud experts ready to help 24/7. It's one app with every layer of protection. I don't want to leave myself vulnerable online, and you shouldn't either. And that's why I personally use Aura. So try it for yourself. Go to aura.com/ROF to try 14 days for free. That's enough time for Aura to start scrubbing your personal info off these data broker sites without you having to lift a finger.